All right, another weekend with us again, Desmond.
Yeah.
Everyone, welcome back to the ringside. Again, it's our faces. Hopefully, you're not tired of us, and hopefully, we can get new people in. Jenny cannot wait. If you can get new people to join our podcast.
They must be willing to come.
Yeah, must be willing to come and stay. Not go like last minute cannot. Okay, let's move on. Let's make an immediate shift to our playoffs over the weekend. What a playoff! Especially today, how we end off the playoff. It's wow. It's really nail biting end for the women's side. But before that, let's talk about the results itself. Before we going in details to the games. For the women's side, Wonder Sticks will be facing Owls in their semi-finals, and Titans will be facing Lito. West Coast Crips. Apologies, because the game just ended. It was intense. West Coast Crips for the semi-finals. Congratulations to these 4 teams for qualifying the top 4, and really a good job for all the other teams that for the women's side for doing battling out during the playoffs. Would you want to announce the men's side?
Okay, so for the men's side, to a certain extent, no surprises because the top 4 as well moves through. So for the next matchup in the semi-finals, it's Dallin versus Wonder Sticks, and as well as Schools in a Bandy versus Nemesis.
Yep, amazing things that we've spoken about these teams, and rightly so. They progress to the next round. Now, it's quite an intense game just now. Even I spilled my words saying the wrong team.
We can talk a bit on the Crips and Lito.
Yeah.
I must say that on my personal front, I didn't really expect it to go into the third game. So credit to Lito putting a much more, I would say, a mental fight. When I saw them play in the second game as well as today, they are fighting literally, physically and mentally to stay through and keep up with Crips. So any thoughts from you on the game?
The game itself, it was really a roller coaster, literally roller coaster. It's up and down, and we were like expecting it's like something that continued from yesterday. Yesterday's game was
tight,
twist.
basically.
Yeah, it was a twist. Then again, a clutch player showed her quality today, and I we don't want to use the words usually carried the team, but she was there definitely to help Crips go through, as rightly so, as a national team player, and amazing player. And we will talk about this more on the lineup itself.
So later there'll be a small segment. This will give you a little bit of a heads up. A small segment where both Abbas and I will give our own lineup of the quarterfinal, so to speak, or basically our ideal lineup that we have so far. So anyway. So what happens is Crips actually won the playoff matchup against Lito 2-1, and they literally just won it. They basically just stretch out everything because it was won after extra time in game 3.
Yep. And how about we move on to our prediction? So it's
No,
as
as in
in
2-1 as in
2-1.
overall it was 2-1.
2-1.
After
number of
winning
victories, number of victories.
Yeah.
So 2 wins, and for Crips, 1 win for Lito, basically.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So you're saying
Prediction for the men's side first, and we go on to the women's side.
Sure, no
because
problem.
It's quite straightforward for the men's side when we saw the games.
Definitely lah. Yeah, for the men's side, I think all 4 teams they managed to see it through. I wouldn't say all comfortably. I mean, comfortably would definitely be Dallin. For the rest, I would say there are incidents, cases. So it wasn't as straightforward, but like I said, they still see the job done. Yes, we can do some prediction first. I'll probably say mine for the men's side. For the men's side, Dallin versus Wonder Sticks. This would be, in my point of view, very interesting because of I would say certain history between these two clubs, the players getting knowing each other, the history that's between them. Dallin definitely a much more, someone say to use, stacked team, all right, because of the number of players, ex-national players, current national players, and I also mentioned before future potential national players. Whereas Wonder Sticks are mainly mostly players that are actually not even in the 20s, right? So if you see their line one, boys, literally boys, right?
Yep.
Some of them are not even army mates yet. So given the extreme, or not say extreme, but the wide gap in terms of experience and youth, like I said, I hope Dallin, or not say I hope, but I'm looking at Dallin fulfilling their potential to go through to the finals against Wonder Sticks, unless Wonder Sticks boys prove me wrong. Right, but and nonetheless, for schools in the Bandy and Nemesis, I would more or less predict a much more physical game between these two. Being Nemesis, they play a much more physical game themselves. Schools in the Bandy wise, like I said, they had some incidents, so I'm not so sure if the two boys are actually allowed to continue, or is there a appeal, based on the one of the matches that they got red cards. So if that comes to play, then that might affect schools in the Bandy matchup against Nemesis. So if it is really a 50-50 game in my point of view, but if you ask me, based on the style that I like to watch, I would prefer schools to go through. So it'll be Dallin and schools for the finals.
Oh, same prediction as well. I think I won't disagree with you on the Dallin and Wonder Sticks match. I think it will be one to watch, definitely. And I think a lot of people will keep their eyes closed to this match because there were, I would say, a whole different lineups during the prelim rounds, because I think there was some transfer going on back then.
Okay.
But but we'll see how these semi-finals will go, and definitely schools, of course, their style of play, and let's see how far they can push this game against Nemesis, and if Nemesis can spring any surprises against schools. Now to the women's side.
You first.
Okay. My prediction. This will be very interesting for Wonder Sticks versus Owls. I believe when they face each other in the prelim rounds, Owls were leading before Wonder Sticks managed to catch up and capitalize on the match itself. So it will be an interesting Saravanan's attacking team versus Jatin's counter-attack.
Yeah, two different philosophy, I would say, in terms of the coaching styles and methods and approach to the game. So your prediction is?
Wow. Still difficult. I would say it's a Wonder Sticks game for sure because of their attacking prowess. But I won't be surprised if Owls are through to the finals. But I'm sticking to Wonder Sticks for now.
I think we more or less have the same mindset. No, because like I said, attacking style, the game that we love to see. So Wonder Sticks definitely would stand out as opposed to Owls. But Owls, they are definitely a very physical team. They know how they want to press their opponents. If done right, done well, and if they really took the lead or take the lead again, then it's up to their defense to hold the fort. So if Owls can nick it in, then it might be an Owls final. But if based on preference, bias, or whatever terminology you want to say, both of us, it seems, going for Wonder Sticks, ladies.
Yep, and then of course the next semi-finals is Titans and Crips. I think I this is slightly biased for me because I think you reviewed
because everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about it.
Everyone knows about it. I love high pressing team. I love very creative teams. So Titans for me should be really amp up to go out against Crips. And Crips, I believe today Crips really got wounded very badly in these quarterfinals, and they will still be licking their wounds after this. But who knows? It's very dangerous to go against a cornered animal. Who knows? They might put a surprise, but I believe it's quite an intense, I won't say straightforward, get the job done by Titans.
Yeah, so based on what I've observed, Creeps and Lito games, right? I think I mentioned in episode 1 that Creeps are what I considered underdogs, right? Or the dark horses. Indeed, I still stand by that notion because based on how Creeps played against Lito, I still feel that their gameplay is good, right? But
Definitely.
what they are sort of a bit lacking is actually the physical part of it. So when Lito came at them in a much physical way, you could see that they struggle. Yeah, so if now they have see through Lito and then the next opponent is Titans, I would say more or less play a similar way of not exactly a same but similar way of style in terms of how they like to attack. But Titans' speed of play, again, you mentioned about the pressing. Yeah, it might just overrun Crips.
Yep.
Yeah, but I hope somehow in this 1 week, Crips just get their act together. But
Yeah.
in a coaching point of view, training has to be trained.
Yep.
Yeah.
The battle is actually the games. It's months and months of practice, and you're just turning up for the games after the months of practice. Not try to change things immediately. It's quite impossible. Also.
Yes.
Yep.
So, but nonetheless, I hope Crips will improve their physical aspect of their game, so we can actually watch much more intense, interesting semi-finals.
Not for the players or the
Titans.
coaches, definitely. I wouldn't want him to be in their shoes. Like, oh no, suddenly Crips woke up or what? It would be very interesting for us as spectators and fans. But definitely it would be interesting.
Yeah. So on my end, yes, Titans. It seems quite straightforward.
Quite straightforward.
Yeah,
So we
for us.
have almost all the similar predictions.
Yeah, but I actually hope the teams that we do not choose, they actually prove us wrong. I always like to support underdogs.
Yep.
So actually, the men's side, if you ask me, I'll actually support 1-6 more. Yeah, that is this for example.
Yep. Okay, let's move on now. For like what Desmond earlier said about our own lineup, and which we will explain more later on. It is actually done before today's session, especially it's interesting for the women's side, and we will explain. You get to see later on. Leandro will put on screen also about it. The different types of players, the different quality they bring in, and of course the different formation that we sort out to bring on our teams. So we'll start with Desmond's men's team first, right?
Mine first, is it? Okay, so up on the screen, it should be shown right here. Just to, or rather before I actually explain the names, I'm just gonna explain the thought process, like how I actually choose. So my thoughts were, am I able to choose one personnel from different teams? So that was the starting point that I went through. The next was trying to get more or less a nice balance of lefties and righties across the court. So therefore on the screen you would see that my formation is more or less like a W, and it's tilted to the left because Singapore is still more righties than lefty. I think we can talk about it a little bit more, but nonetheless, my goalie will be Jared Tan from Dallin. Following which it would be left defender Lee Chi-yong from
This is the interesting part. Yeah.
Lee Chi-yong from
Nemesis.
Nemesis. And his partner actually decided to go for Hilario from 1-6.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a bit of a 50-50 decision between Hilario and Charles from 1-6 because both of them are the lefty player playing the right defender position. But I decided to go for Hilario. Then next would be center. Not so sure if people would find this a surprise, but I actually like how 1D from VS play his game. I've seen him from young as well, from a forward. And then subsequently when I see him playing in his VS games, I actually find that he's a lot more mobile. He's all over the place. He know how to pace the game. So I actually like this kind of center in my line. So I decided to just go for him. And then to the lefty, right forward, I decided to go for Gabriel. Gabriel from Inabendi. Sorry, Tong Wei, I decided not to choose you.
I had the same issue.
So it is actually partially due to the fact that I decided to go for Jun Wei from Perhe, right? Because both of you from the same RI gang. So I decided to not to be too RI biased. But anyway, decided to go for Gabriel for the right forward role, and then Jun Wei from Perhe for the left forward role. So yep, this is so far my lineup. Do I just mention more or less how I would like?
Definitely. You have to.
Okay,
You
so
can't just say W. Okay, we're gonna play this.
So anyway, just to talk about a goalie first. So I choose Jared, right? So I think goalies wise, there are a couple of choices. You can actually go for J-Pal. You can go for goalies in the VS. Why not? But for me, Jared, what stood out for me is his throws, quite similar to J-Pal's. But Jared slightly younger, but slightly younger. I decided to go for if I can, younger players. So that was one of the also other reasons or rather factors that I choose. He's fast on the ground in terms of his movement. So that's Jared for me. Chi-Yong wise, Chi-Yong and Ilero, to me, two very nice, stable defenders whom I like them in terms of how they move the ball when they have the ball. How they have this, I usually use the word pre-scan. They are able to pre-scan, select their options wisely, and most importantly is they move with the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
Ball carriers.
That's a key point to me. Then on top of that, I think I explained on why I chose Wandi just now, based on his mobility, his stick work, his help in both defense and offense. Also being that he was once a forward as well, so he could just double up as a forward. Then yet on the other hand, why I chose Gabriel? Because Gabriel, to me, if I were to explain this line on how to play, I would say, Gabriel, you need to come back down. You need to come back, support, provide additional support in terms of keeping ball possession. Because I would rather Chinwei to be high up.
Yeah.
He would be my top forward, right? Because he's a much more direct player. When you see him play, so the directness of his game is what I also like in terms of one of my forward pairings. So Jinwei will be my direct one. Then Gabriel will be one that helps to link up play. Then that's where 1D is able to occasionally dish up as a different forward, while Gabriel can also drop back down and be able to control play by itself. So again, ultimately why I choose 3 righties and 2 lefties, it's so that it's a bit more balanced on both sides. When I see Sweden, Finland, they play, right, they often have very nice balance whereas locally they're actually more, like I say, righty players, and therefore when you see how they play, usually it's quite fixated in the sense that they are restricted in
the positions,
both options at times.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. So that is my men's.
Okay, then let me show you my men's. I'm operating with a 2-1 high pressing. Not surprised to those who know me. 1 last man with 2 center and 2 forward. With a unique way of pressing, which is we won't have time to go through it today. I think it's quite elaborate, but the idea is to keep the opponents in their area. So I think we picked the same defender. We pick. He's a forward, by the way. I think those who've watched him or known him, he's a forward in Nemesis. But we believe. I think we talked about this. We believe that he can contribute a lot in the defensive area in terms of distribution and whatnot. Again, I struggle again with sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, true. Thanks, Andrew. You got 15 minutes. So for I again, it's the same thing that I struggle with the righties and the lefties, but I can go on with the type of players that I wanted. Actually, it's 3 in one position, but Shazni, only recently that he's playing in the playoffs. I think he didn't play much in the preliminaries, if I'm not wrong. But by watching the playoffs alone against Jansenites, it showed his quality. Imagine when he was in his prime, but he showed his quality of helping everyone out, especially on the right side of the court. Then we have Nicholas, a potent finisher, definitely a potent finisher. Sometimes why I have both of the school's players on the left side is basically to support Nicholas in terms of his how to put it, attacking prowess. So it's quite balanced. And of course our goalkeeper Kenneth. This guy it's a monster. I think a lot of forward going against him, it's crazy. I think even schools players would know how difficult to get any ball passed through him. But this is my lineup for the men's side. I think we don't really have much time for me to explain the pressing system. I think we can move on to the women's.
No, actually, do have a question.
Yes, Ken.
Like me knowing Shazni, right? You sure you want him to press that much?
No, he won't press. That's the point. That's the point. That's the point. Okay, you can see Nicholas will go all the way out, right? Then you will see it will be like a pivoting system. He will go up. Shazni will cover at the back.
Even Nicholas.
Yeah, he will go up, then he won't come down.
I don't know, Nick. You have to tell me. But yeah, I don't see.
I was looking at the
if he pressed, then yes, like you said, will he come back down? And then if he coming down, then whoop, just
you have the school's players to rotate. So again, it's an elaborate pressing system that if I were to
explain,
take quite a while.
Okay,
That's why you will see. I mean, it's there. I mean, Henry can show. Okay, let's move on to our women's side. For your choices.
Oh, my turn, huh? Okay, yes. So women's side goalie position.
Even after today.
Wow.
We both had the same.
Again, I prefer to go for the youth if possible. So Shazana is really a clear out choice. Yep. Again, her throws saves. Yes, her youth maybe, so you can say that maybe experience a bit lacking or whatsoever, but I would still pick her than the other goalies.
Yep.
So again, similar thinking process in terms of
Formation.
one player per team if
Yep.
possible. This is the only the ladies side I could not really do that. So but and also the formation as well. You know, having the balance of righty and lefty players. So for the left defender, I decided to go for Tiffany. So Tiffany from Wonder Sticks, I think also another clear standout player in the defender's role. She can basically just clean out, sweep out every ball, win any challenges at tight corners, take long shots. Yeah. So
That's
very
Tiffany for you, man.
clear
Like-
clear standout. Yeah, really. So then of course on the other side you need I need a lefty player. Then another clear standout player actually to me is Yun Sean
Yeah.
from Creeps. So her playmaking, her ball controlling, her vision, being able to switch it up. I like players that are able to switch play from one end to the other end. She does that as well, and then her occasional what I call dashing through to take quick shots. She can also be flexible in terms of operating both center and maybe to a certain extent forward row as well. So nice flexibility for me. In the center role, maybe not her usual role per se, because most of the time people will know her as a defender, whether it's in Titans or in national team. But because of her, again, tactical vision, again, playmaking abilities, it is, in my opinion, actually the number one player in Singapore itself. So given her abilities, I actually felt that in a defender's role, it is sort of underutilizing her. Yeah. But I think the last few games I actually saw her playing in a forward role, and she's still thriving. Right? Whether is it taking shots, providing assists, tight corners, she still can work it up. So again, that's my ideal center. So therefore her. Right forward,
Christina.
Christina. Of course, Christina, there's two Christinas in Wonder Sticks, so this Christina will be the forward Christina over there. I actually like the defender Christina as well. Yeah. So had there been no Yun Sean or had there been no Tiffany, maybe Christina could have been.
True.
Yeah. Right. So, but nonetheless, Christina for my left forward. I find her have a nice balance in terms of being direct, but then yet being able to play the ball. Yeah. So then again, where my other direct player who actually comes in terms of Michelle Lok from Owls. So I remember I saw, of course, their playoff game against Tito, Taito.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So yeah, Chinwei, you haven't let me know again how to pronounce that. But anyway, she actually did one damn nice wrist shot goal.
Yeah.
Top corner.
It's wow. Like,
Yeah. So I've been lately preaching my boys, wrist shot, first time shot. She did it. But yeah, that's what I like it.
Yeah. And I think we have like similar players. I think about 2 players similar. Is it? No. Oh, 2. Correct. Our goalkeeper and our center. Now, how I will operate basically. Again, it's the high pressing system, and I think you guys were like, huh? Shannon.
Yeah.
Last man.
I think you don't need to explain anything else. Just explain Shannon only. I think Shannon, if you are looking at this podcast, that is not you as a lone forward, but that's you as a last defender.
Yep. So what happened was in the playoffs, I think if you watch the games, she played more of a center back.
Actually, unfortunately, no. That's why I'm surprised myself.
So I think those who have watched, she played more of a, I would say, a passive role at the back. But putting Shannon there, I like my last man to be have all the vision, everything. What a center is needed, but as a last man role. But also, uniquely, those players who play under me, they know that the last man can even dribble up and they can even go up. So that's when you have players like Sean to cover the back. And then we have a youth player on the left side. I think she has one of the biggest potential, if not the biggest potential in the national setup, which is Nasha. Her work rate, and her speed, her agility, it's everything is there. It's like a package of a center. And her 50-50 ball winning should I say skills is superb. It's like, wow, I don't see. Even if you watch the Swedish games against our players, she's there to immediately try to get the ball back to from the Swedish. So it's quite interesting. And of course, the 2 forward. What more can we say? They can press. They can do almost everything. And yeah, it's a very strong forward. But the problem is when it's tracking back again, high pressing.
Different again. So
Yep.
That shows the bit of difference in how we operate. Yeah.
Yep. So that's about it for our lineup. Yeah. So I was there to watch one of the games, which is the NTU both men's and women's, which was on Thursday, I believe.
Okay.
Just a quick roundup for everyone. The first games that started on Tuesday, which is SUSS versus NUS. SUSS women lost 1-6 to NUS, whereas the men's side drew 2-2. And then on Thursday, we have SMU versus NTU, women's winning 5-0, and a draw again on the men's side. Actually, I'm not surprised on the men's side, to be honest. The draw that happened.
Really?
Yeah, I'll explain more.
Okay.
And after that, when you look at the SIT versus NUS, just yesterday morning, I believe. So it's quite close also, 4-3. Talked to JQ a bit about the girls, the ladies' side. I think he explained to me quite interestingly. Most of the time it's actually how bad you want it, how bad you want to win and whatnot. So I understand where he's coming from. We were expecting more from NUS women's, but yeah. And again, a 4-3 win for the men's side. And now and the afternoon game, which is 10-1 and 16-2 to SIM, no surprise there. Quite straightforward. Now, for the draw for the men's side, this is a very interesting about our in sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
Men tend to be more emotional during games because no other way to express.
Define your emotion.
Ego, maybe, or trying to show, I would say, the wrong things inside court. So for me, as a former athlete and whatnot, to show my quality as a player is to show my skills and my composure. I'm very cool. Whatever they want to do to me, I will just smile. Okay, carry on, gentleman's game. But emotionally, when we look at football, as comparing to rugby, is quite contrasting. Like they tend to argue, they tend to be more physical. Men's game are more physical, definitely. But a fair share of our men's are going in thinking of the more energy I put in, the more intense I am, I'm the bigger man. That's my feeling, which something I don't like about sports. In general, when we play football, those who played in the league, in the Sunday league, or whatever it is, you know what I mean. Like every other minute there will be like arguments, fights. I'm sick and tired of it, both as an athlete and a coach. We are here to play our sports and move on. But I'm not sure what went down but for the NTU side, I saw it was very physical. It was just a ping pong match. Literally a ping pong match. One skill against another skill, then it's very, very, very tense kind of situation. It's not like there's a tactical control and whatnot. It's just we want to score goals, that kind of feeling, Yeah. Any thoughts on that when we talk about the men's side?
I would say SMU NTU men's having the draw. I would say slightly surprised because I was thinking NTU might actually be able to win it. Yeah. So that's my point of view, right? So SUSS and NUS 2-2 wise, I would actually probably have given my bet on SUSS, given that they are actually some at times on paper like the more stacked teams. But of course, never really gone into really in depth in terms of like who are the players are, So that was just off my head even before knowing the results. Yeah, so that's to a certain extent my surprise. But of course, the rest of it actually pretty straightforward. I would say the SIT matches, the score line between them and NUS much more closer. Yeah, that's something I would like to see as well, right? Because the supposedly lesser teams, the SIT, the SUTD, again, I usually try to support the underdogs. Given that they actually only they lost that one goal, could have been a draw, could have been a better result against NUS. So it seems like NUS is so far bringing the results. Yes, other than NUS men's for the 2-2, but given SUSS capability, I would say a draw is not too bad. It's not too bad.